Hello, and welcome to episode 7 of the All You Need Is Love podcast. My name is Leah, and today is July the 7th. I believe it's been almost a month since I last talked to you. Honestly, I'm not even sure where June went. It's been crazy. I think all of the 2015 years so far has been going by so crazy quickly. And I'm not even sure why I didn't record during June. I think I've been busy or I'm not sure. All I can remember is that I cut my hair, went to Disneyland, and knit a crazy amount of shawls. That was June. So apparently July is going to be weird as well. It's been crazy hot for the last 10 days. Like most afternoons we've been hitting 35 degrees, 40 degrees Celsius. And I'm pretty sure last summer wasn't that hot because I remember knitting through it. But for the last week, all I've been able to do are knit on tiny little projects like baby socks because wool plus wooden needles plus moist ends. I could knit like 5 minutes at times, and in the mornings very early or late at night, but that's pretty much it. So honestly, I'm hoping it won't stay that hot for the entire summer because, well, I'm not the biggest summer fan, I'd say, and I don't like it when it gets too hot. And if I can't knit, then what am I supposed to do, right? So mostly I've been reading a lot for the last week because that's something you can do when it's hot, and eating watermelons and popsicles. So that's my summer so far. I hope it's not crazy hot where you are, and if you're getting some rain or some wind, know that I'm jealous. But yeah, I've still managed to knit some little stuff, and I've got a lot of finished objects which I'm going to show you from June. And other news, the baby knit along that Lottie and I hosted in June is now finished, and I've drawn a winner from the chatter thread, and Lottie will draw a winner from the FO thread, and I'm going to announce the name of the winner at the end of the podcast. But I wanted to thank everyone who has joined in with us and participated. There's been a ton of stuff knitted. Cardigans and tiny hats, even blankets, and I've added like 10 patterns to my list of stuff I want to knit for babies. So yeah, thank you, and I hope you all had fun. I really like knit-alongs. I'm participating in like 4 different ones right now, so I'm really hoping to organize a new one soon. I'm not quite sure about like what theme or for what reason, but if you have any suggestions, do let me know, and maybe we'll do that this fall, like in September or October, because I do know of one big knit alongs that will be during the fall, but mostly all of the ones I'm joining in right now are for this summer only, so I think September would be a good point to start a new one. Do let me know if you have any ideas about that. So yeah, we'll start with the finished objects, and as you will see, in June I had a crazy shawl obsession because I need 4 shawls, so basically 1 a week during the month of June. It all started with my campsite, which I showed you last time because it was done at the end of May, I think. But I have blocked it ever since, so I thought I could show it to you again quickly in case you haven't seen it yet. And don't mind the color, it's not that crazy in real life. So this is my finished campsite. Now it's been all blocked, and as you can see, it's an eyelet paradise. I think my favorite one portion is the last one, where they're all super close to each other. That was also my first time doing a ribbing for a border of a shawl, and at first I thought it might look too masculine maybe, but I actually quite like it. So yeah, like I said, that's my campsite. The pattern is by Alicia Plummer, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. And the yarn I used was Artesano 100% alpaca decay. It's more like a winter shawl because it's super hot, and it's actually been sitting in my bedroom for like the entire month because there's no way I can wear it for the next I'd say 2 months or 3 months. So yeah, but still I love it and definitely recommend it to, I'd say, intermediate to advanced knitter because it's completely charted, but you've got to be quite aware of your knitting and to be able to read your knitting to make that shawl, I'd say. So that's how the obsession started. And then I knit my Aristida shawl. If you remember, I showed it to you last time. And I think it's my favorite knit of the year so far because I made it in like 5 days. I just couldn't stop knitting on it. I just loved the pattern, and a few people have been talking about that and what makes a good pattern like addictive and make you want to knit again and again and again on the project. And for me, I'd say it has to be complicated enough that I don't get bored, but easy enough that I can memorize the pattern. So I don't have to read notes or stop every 2 minutes or use a gazillion markers, stuff like that. And this is exactly what that shawl was. So this is my Aristide shawl, and it's a pattern from Knit Scene Accessories 2012. And as you can see, it's a big summery lace shawl with cool fringes at the bottom. And I mean, it can look quite complicated, but I think I had it memorized basically by the second pattern repeat, I mean. It's super easy to knit because basically you look at your previous row and you can tell what you're supposed to do on the next one, which is my favorite thing when I'm knitting a shawl because this way I don't have to have pattern notes by my side all the time. And like I said, I knit that shawl in 4 days and I just love it so much. It's pretty big, so that means I can wear it over my shoulders, but it's in a very fine yarn. I'd say it's light fingering, so basically I could wear, well, it's very hot right now, but like if it's 20 degrees outside, I think it's pretty perfect for the morning, or like if you're going outside in the late evening and you just want an extra layer. So yeah, definitely love that shawl, and I think the fringes are my favorite part. I don't know if you can tell, but I made the fringes in the same color as the main shawl, except for a few strands of white yarn which I added just to add, I'd say, extra light to it, and I think it worked pretty well. The pattern actually calls for twice as less fringes, but I'd say if you're going to add fringes, go big or go home. So I went all in and I did a lot of it, and I think it looks awesome. Another great thing I love about that shawl is the yarn, and it's actually undyed yarn by my lovely friend Anna. She's Gregoria Fibers. Her website is gregoriafibers.com. And she, a few months ago, she started dyeing all yarn, only using natural products, so like plants and flowers. And on my birthday in May, she had a shop update, and I saw 2 skeins of walnut dyed yarn, and I had to have it. So this is the band if you want to check it out. Gregoria Fibers. And so you can see that was very big skeins. I got 2 of it and I still have a lot left over. And I just love that color. I don't think I have ever seen any yarn that color, or like any commercial yarn, because they're just so natural and you don't get that in most commercial yarn. So definitely recommend it, both the patterns and the yarn. So yeah, definitely a favorite of mine. I'm going to wear it a lot, I can tell. So that was the second shawl. Then came a third one, which I can't show you right now because it's a test knit I did for Maria of the Stitch in Sweden podcast. And the shawl should be released, I think, by the end of July. So I will be able to show you mine then. But I can't tell you much except that, spoiler, it's super pretty. I just love knitting it, and I can't wait for Maya to release it and for me to show you my version. So third shawl, and then I made a fourth one, which is called the Kuni shawl by This Bird Knits. And as you can see, all of the shawls I've been knitting this month are huge shawls. I don't know why the colors are there. This is the real colors. So from light to dark. And I was on Instagram one night and I saw a picture of that shawl saying that it had just been released and that it would be free for 24 hours. So I think it was like 11 p.m. I was about to go to bed and I just really wanted to knit it. So I managed to grab the pattern for free, which was really cool. And the reason I knew I had to knit it was because I have had this yarn, this gradient kit by Julie Asselin for, I think 9 months. And it was absolutely perfect, but I knew it needed a very special pattern to go with it. And as soon as I saw this one, I knew it would be perfect in a gradient kit. So this is what I did. As you can see, there's 5 different shades of pink. And I went with the light one at the top and finishing with the darker one. What do you think about that? Because I see a lot of shawls where like the body is white or beige, and they go for a dark border, but also a lot of the overwear ones. I think personally that the top has to be lighter, because it's like you're going up towards the sky, which is light, and then as you go down towards the earth, it gets darker. That's just like my opinion, but that's kind of the way I play with color or when I knit. I tend to use the dark at the very end, but I would be curious to try it the overall at some point. We'll see. So I just really like this shawl. As you can see, it starts with some garter stitch, and then there's a very pretty lace section, which I think looks super cute. Then some more texture. Then I added this wasn't supposed to be this exact type of lace. It was supposed to be a repeat of this one, but smaller. But I changed it for a simple mesh lace. And then the border with a little bit of lace and then some more garter stitch. And it was super simple to knit, very quick, but I think it looks pretty great. And once again, look how huge it is. I mean, it's crazy. So definitely one you would also like wear over your shoulders, like this. And I can even like tie it in the middle. I'm thinking I need to buy some kind of a pin, or I don't know what it's called, like to tie the shawl. But yeah, I really like this one, and this is coming from someone who isn't super big on pink, but couldn't resist. I love the yarn. Julie Asselin is such an amazing dyer, and this one, so that was called Lazy Fingering, a gradient kit. She has like 6, I think, different colorways for gradients, and it's a mix of merino and silk. with just I think 20% of silk, which I think is the perfect amount because I mean it gets shiny but it's not too silky for me. So I can tell this one is going to be super sturdy and last a very long time. The yarn is fingering, but I'd say is slightly thicker and fingering, but not sport weight, which makes it a great for shawls that you want to be light, but still it's definitely thicker than my Aristida shawl, for instance. So I love that yarn, and I know she has some kits with like that goes from light blue to turquoise, and I think some go to from gray to turquoise, and I really want one. So I found this yarn in a yarn craft fair last year, and I'm hoping to find some more this fall when the show is again in Paris. So definitely recommend it. I think you can find it in most countries. I mean, I think she's American, but I got this one in France, so definitely go check it out online. It's Julie Asselin, and yeah, awesome yarn and really cool pattern. Super. I think it's like one of her first pattern from this bird knits, and it was super well written and easy. Definitely recommend it. Once again, if you like big, lacy, but very easy to make shawls. So that's 4 shawls in a month. Clearly, I don't know what happened. I just knit one after the other, and I could not stop. I have one more shawl on the needles, and I have like 4 planned. So it's kind of insane. But I guess at some point I would like to have a shawl in every color possible. So that whatever I'm wearing, I have a shawl that can match. Is that crazy? So yeah, I had a lot of fun in June. I pretty much only knit shawl in June because in June, I mean, I have a cardigan that's been sitting in a bag for an entire month, and I haven't done a single row on it. Same thing happened with a top, and socks have been ignored for the entire month of June. So it was all about shawls. And I'm also taking part into the Suburban Stitcher knit-along, which is the around your neck knit-along. So shawls were great for that. And it started a month ago, but it's up to September the 1st, I think, with lots of great things happening on the thread, because I mean I've seen like dozens of gorgeous shawls that I've been going to my queue on Ravelry. So you should definitely go check it out. Maybe join. I mean, if you're going to knit shawls, why not try to participate in the knit-along and maybe win a few cool prizes. So those were my big finished objects from June. And I have 2 more finished objects which I made last week. So in July, you can see there's a very big difference in terms of size, because it's been so hot. There was no way I could knit on shawls. I mean, I can't even knit on my scrap yarn blanket because it's now big enough that it needs to sit on my lap while I knit. And I mean, I can't wear anything bigger than shorts, and I mean, I put this t-shirt on for recording, but it's even too hot right now to be wearing a t-shirt. And so I've only been knitting on tiny little stuffs like baby socks. I made a pair of tiny baby socks. From what I've seen from actual baby socks, I'm thinking this is going to fit a 3 months baby. So this is going to be for my sister and a baby boy, which is due in October. And this was really fun to knit. I didn't really use a pattern. I just this is fingering weight yarn, and I took my 2.5mm needles, cast on 36 stitches. I did 2x2 ribbing for, I think it's 25 rows. I did a tiny little short row heel. The when I do on all of my socks. And then I did the fit for, I want to say 20 stitches, 20 rows, and a simple kitchener. Oh, and here you have it, a baby sock. The yarn I was gifted for my birthday. I showed you, I think last time, a package I got from Lottie, and in it was some yarn, including this skein, which I just love. And it's a bit more turquoise in real life, so closer to sea green, let's say. And the skein is only, it's half a fingering, a usual fingering weight skein, so it's only 220 meters, which means I couldn't knit a pair of socks for myself, so I figured I would need some small projects, including this tiny pair of socks. And I'm not going to try and say the name of the yarn because it's in German and I don't speak German, but the pair of socks is on my Ravelry page if you want to go check it out and see the yarn. And I have another skein in a darker blue, which I'm not sure yet what it's going to be. But yeah, definitely a sweet and very quick project. Obviously it took me, I don't know, 1 sock a day, I'd say, and I'm going to make a bunch more, I think. I'd like to try some with a little bit of ferrule and maybe play with colors a bit more. But yeah, I'm going to make socks in a bunch of different sizes, and I think I'm going to try to make a bigger pair for my nephew. So my sister's firstborn. He is 3.5, and maybe I will try to make a pair for him and a pair for the baby in the same color, so they have matching socks. I think that could be cute. And I know he's going to start getting jealous if he sees I'm knitting a lot of stuff for the baby and nothing for him, because he loves watching me knit and asking me questions about it. So I think I'm going to make little socks for him too. I just need to figure out the stitches for a 3-year-old, I guess. So I'll talk to you about that if that happens, and I will show you the projects, obviously. So that was yet another finished object, and now for the very last one. Those are my antiquity mitts. So I actually started those like a month ago, but only just finished them. So the pattern is by Alicia Plummer, so that's also the designer of the campsite, and I love most of her patterns because I think they're very modern but also very elegant. And oh, beautiful is that stitch pattern. It's called the broderie anglaise stitch. It's super simple to make but very, very cute. And I'm going to show you the mitten on me. So it's like a mitten for fall, like so. It's quite small but perfect if it's just a tiny bit cold outside and you want to go, I don't know, forage in the woods or something like that. And it's very cute. So yeah, the pattern was super simple to follow, and the yarn I used is Quinsenko Chickadee in the twig colorway. Here's the tag. Chickadee is their sport weight yarn, and it's American wool. And the colorway twig. And I have all of that left over. So I'm not sure how much yardage that is, but I think I'm going to try to make a pair of baby booties with it. It looks like it should be enough for a tiny pair of booties. And it's a very cute pattern I saw online, which are basically garter stitch booties with a cable detail on the front of the feet part, which I think would be very cute for a baby boy. And I think it's quite a nice neutral color. Hoping it's going to be enough. I will let you know. But I do need 3.5mm DPNs for it, which I somehow don't have. So I'm going to have to go shopping first, I guess. So that was my last finished object. Really, really like that little pair of mitts. Kind clearly there's nothing that I've knit recently that I'm going to be able to enjoy and use for the next 3 months, but that's okay. I'm actually thinking about starting to cast on some Christmas projects, because last year was so stressful. In December I tried to knit all of the things and I got too anxious and it wasn't even fun anymore by the end. So I'm thinking maybe if I try to knit them this summer, then it's going to be fun right now and I won't be stressed out in December. So yeah, I'm thinking socks obviously and hats for everyone. So I'm hoping I will get the courage and the motivation to do it right now, because there's no way I'm going to knit all the things in December like last year. So I don't know about you, but I think Christmas in July needs to happen this year. So those were all of my finished subjects, and we're going to move on to my works in progress. I don't have that many because I tend to work on like 5 different projects at once, but last month I got a bit overwhelmed, I think. I was working on everything, but at the same time I felt like I wasn't making any sort of progress. So that's how I finished with all those shawls. Mostly is because I like gave up on all of my works in progress and concentrated on just one at a time. And I'm still doing that mostly. And so that means I have a few things that are still waiting, but that's okay. I just don't want to get overwhelmed again, and I'm actually making a lot more progress doing that. So who knows, I may be turning into some sort of monogamous knitter, which is weird because it's so not me. But so I have only 2 works in progress to show you, and yes, there is another shawl on my needles. This shawl is more of spur of the moment, just for fun. Let's see what happens shawl. And here it is so far. And it's a self-striping shawl. What happens is that I don't know, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was watching the Bakery Bears podcast, and Kay was talking about shawls she was designing to go especially for self-patterning yarns, so like opal and regia yarns. And I have like some drops self-striping yarn in my stash, and I honestly had never thought that you could make like self-striping shawls, because I thought it would self-stripe on stocks, but then it was going to do something completely different on bigger projects. So when I saw like a pattern project, I figured I would try it myself. This is how I came up with that shawl. So this is drops yarn that I got a while ago. Originally I wanted to make socks for myself, but that didn't happen, I guess. And so I cast on the shawl, and it's a basic triangle shawl where I alternate between stockinette, garter stitch, and a few rows here and there. There's a few tiny eyelet rows, and as you can see, it does self-stripe on shawls, so it's really fun. I need to knit like at night or here and there because I don't need to think about it, or it's super easy, and it's not exactly the type of stuff I would wear every day, but I think it's fun with like a pair of jeans, of blue jeans, and a simple t-shirt. It's going to be quite fun. So I'm onto the second skein. They are both 200 meters of each, so it's going to be a 400 meters or yards shawl, like a kerchief type of shawl, triangular. Basically I'm knitting until I run out of that, and I actually, if you can see, there's a few blue sections, and I have a skein of the blue yarn. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to do the edging in like a few rows of garter stitch, I think, in the blue, to add some contrast to the end. So very cool mindless knits. The yarn isn't, it's sock yarn by, so it's drops, I forgot to say. It's drop fable print, I think it's called. And I can't remember the color, but it's quite easily recognizable on their website. And it's sock yarn, so it's nylon and wool. It's not crazy soft, but I did make a pair of socks in a different colorway. And when I washed it, it became a lot softer. So I'm hoping the same is going to happen for the shawl. And it should grow quite a while too. So I'm excited to finish it and see the results. We'll see. But really fun. So that's my first work in progress. And the second one is a pair of socks, because after a month and a half of no socks knitting at all, I really wanted to cast on a pair. And mostly that was because in the end of May, I bought 2 skeins of yarn from a shop I really liked and wanted to try a yarn from for a while, and it's Eden Yarns. That's the English indie dyer. The dyer is called Christina, and I think she dyes near Brighton, so in the UK. And you might have seen her yarn before. She has amazing self-striping sock yarn, as well as gradient kit, and she also now dyes, like, she has let's say tonal yarns, as well as gorgeous speckled yarn. And in May was my birthday, so I decided to try some of her yarn for myself, and I got the coolest, craziest, most beautiful skein ever. So it's a sock base, so it's called Prism, and it's nylon and merino wool, and the colorway is called Neon Lights. So it's a white base with, I don't know if you can see the colors. It's like all the colors you can think of, and I fell in love with it, and I had to have it basically. And even though I feel like it's very special and I love it, I really wanted it to become socks. So I have like 20 different sock patterns in my library, but I couldn't find a single one that was perfect enough for this yarn. So what I did is I made up my own sock, and this is the first one. So on the front, it's completely basic stockinette sock, and oh, gorgeous is the color, seriously. I love that it's fully speckled. It's not like a lot of white with tiny speckle like here and there. It's actually more speckled than white, I'd say. And so yeah, that's the front, basic stockinette. And on the back, I decided to add a cable. So I have a book called 400 Knitting Stitches, and there's a whole section on cables. And I saw this one, which I think looks quite like Irish Celtic kind of cable, and it's knit with 12 stitches, so 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 type of cables. And so I think it looks great with the other yarn, and it looks great on my feet. So that's a full sock, as you can see. So the cable is done when I'm wearing it. It goes until my heel, like down the back of my feet. And I'm just in love with that sock. The rest of it is my go-to sock recipe. So I'm knitting it on 2.25 millimeters, 64 stitches. I did a few rows of 1x1 ribbing and stockinette all the way. And the heel is my short row heel, the one I really like, using stitch twin knits and stitch twin pearls, I think, from the Shadow Up tutorial, but only I'm modifying it a bit. I'm hoping to blog about it soon, as soon as this pair is finished. So this sock I did last week, and I've cast on the second one yesterday. You can see it's on my needles. So that's the front, and I've just started the cable at the back. Here you can see all the colors, and I am in love with that yarn, and I really like the cable too. I'm more of a lace kind of knitter than a cable one, because cables are a bit fiddly, I find, but I really like this one, and I'm actually thinking of maybe knitting a few more stuff using that cable. Maybe a pair of mittens with the cable here, or I think it would look very, very beautiful on a sweater with maybe the cables down the sleeve or in the back. I'm not sure, but I definitely want to try some more things with that cable. So yeah, very in love with that project. I'm definitely in the mood for socks in July. I guess after a month of knitting shawls, I'm going to move on to socks, visibly. So we'll see what happens. But definitely recommend checking out Eden Yarns. She just added a new speckled one. So basically it's just like this one, except it's not on a white base, it's on a grey base. And I really, really want to try it out. And maybe some bigger project with speckled yarn. I think a cardigan, very simple cardigan, so like only stockinette stitch with a ribbing neckband, would look amazing in speckled yarn. Yeah, I'm dreaming out loud. But yeah, do check it out. Even on Instagram, she's Eden Yarns, and she has the most beautiful yarn. Honestly, I have no idea how you get to dye something like that. I think it's just amazing, and that's why I love indie dyers so much. I usually don't buy too much from UK shops because the rate from going to the pound to the euro is a nightmare, but she's worth it. And I love that pair of socks. I'm adding the details of it on my Ravelry page as I go, because it's completely made up, and I will share the cable recipe on my blog too at some point, I think, once the socks are finished. So that was all of my knitting since the last time I saw you. Quite a lot of stuff. I have a few new projects planned. Mostly I'm waiting to see if it gets a little bit less hot, because I have some bigger projects that I would like to cast on, but it's just too hot for it right now, so I'm waiting a little bit. But like I said at the very beginning of the show, I wasn't supposed to buy yarn in June, and I resisted until the very end of the month when Molly from the Homespun House podcast and website shared one night that there was an Alicia Plummer mystery knit-along starting, and I'm not the biggest fan of mystery knit-along because I like to see what I'm going to knit before, but I like her patterns a lot, and my favorite thing about it is that this mystery knit-along is called the Thunderstorm, and it's all about rain and storms, and I just love the theme and the description of it, and I had to get it. So obviously it calls for a bit less than 800 yards of fingering weight, which I mostly have 400 each time because I only buy one skein of everything. So I had to go out and find some yarns for this project, and I did at my local yarn store. And this is not doing it. Yeah, that's pretty much the true color, and oh gorgeous is that yarn. So it's like tonal blue with some parts are almost sea green, I don't know if you can tell, and it's Malabrigo sock in the Azules colorway, so that's colorway 856, and each skein is 440 yards, so That's some big skeins from Malabrigo. I just love the way they dye their yarn. And I think it's pretty thunderstormy to me. And I actually haven't casted it on yet because it's been really hot. And for a second there, I was kind of considering making, because there's so much yarn, I have almost 900 yards, I could make a short sleeve top. And there's one in particular that I really want to cast on, which is called the Babette top. But and I think it would look very, very pretty in that color. But I'm thinking maybe this is 100% yarn, wool, I mean. And I'm thinking maybe the top would be better in cotton. So that's the reason I haven't casted it on yet, because I can't quite decide if this needs to be a shawl or a top. So any ideas, any suggestions would be very appreciated, because I really want to make something with that gorgeous yarn, but I'm just not sure quite what right now. So this is what I got in June, and I also got a package last month from Maria, like from the Stitch in Sweden podcast. Maria and I did a mini skein swap when she started a crochet blanket, and she knew I was knitting a sock scrap yarn blanket. So we arranged to do little swaps, and she told me she would include some extra yarn because she had some skeins that she thought I would like. And alright was she. The skeins are both yellow and rustic, which is basically heaven to me. And here they are. So it's Brooklyn Tweed Loft, which I've never tried before. It's their fingering weight base in my favorite colorway ever, which is called A Loft. And it's like speckled golden yellow with oranges and greens, and I'm so in love with it. You know me too well, Maria. Thank you so much. And this yarn is amazing, and like with all of my special skeins, it's going to take me forever to figure out what I should make with it. I'm pretty sure it needs to be a shawl, but what kind of shawl? Because it's very, if you've ever seen Brooklyn Tweed, it's like nothing I've seen before. So it can't be any sort of shawl. I think it needs to be something special. And I love it. I love it. It's the most pretty color in the world. So thanks again, Maria. I love it, if you can tell. And so yeah, it was supposed to be a mini skein swap, so there was also mini skeins in the pack, which I really like. And there's a lot of brands that I was thinking about trying, like Fondant Fiber. That's a British indie dyer, and it's super pretty. So I'm excited to add this one to my blankets. And this one is amazing because this is handspun by Maria, and I love it when I do a swap and someone includes handspun because it's so unique and special. So I love it. And there's some more. This very pretty purple one and yellow. This one is Malabrigo, and it's funny because when I got it, I was actually looking at this colorway online because I was thinking of getting a few skeins for like a cardigan. It's impressionist sky, and it's the prettiest light blue. I really like it. There's some grey one. There's some tweedy American knit picks yarn. I'm always curious about knit picks because, well, you see it in a lot of American people projects, but you can't find it in Europe. So I'm excited to see. It's very extremely soft. I'm curious to see how it knits. And the last one is undyed sock yarn, also in a pretty fuchsia purpley color with some bits of tweedy in it too, I think. So I love them, and I'm very excited to add them to my blanket as soon as it gets cool enough for me to work on it again, because I can see it, it's just over there, and I'm really missing it at the moment. So I'm hoping to work on it again soon. So that was super fun. I'm not doing any more swaps at the moment, but I'm hoping to do some more maybe in September. But I think I will have some new leftovers from projects by then to make new minis out of it. So very, very excited about it, and to add some more yarns to my ever-growing blankets. That's pretty much it for the knitting portion. I'm going to announce the winner of the Lilo Baby Carl Knit Along now. So if you remember, on my Ravelry group, which is the All You Need Is Love podcast, it's called on Ravelry, and there was a chatter thread, and Lottie from the And Just Another podcast as the finished object thread. So she's going to draw a winner from that thread, and that person is going to win some yarn from Baronwall. She's a German indie dyer, quite recently started dyeing yarn, and it's very pretty. So go check out Lottie's latest podcast as soon as it goes published on YouTube, where she will announce a winner. And I'm going to announce the winner from the chatter thread. And I did the random.org thing. I was kind of stressed about it because it was a chatter thread. There were a lot of messages from me and messages from Lottie. But hopefully, on the first try, I got someone that wasn't neither me nor Lottie. And the post I drew was post number 31, and that's Jazzy Java. I think her name is Sue Ann. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. And congratulations, you won from the chatter thread. I'm very excited that you won, because I think she was one of the most productive knitters from the knit along. She made cardigans, a blanket, hats, and the prettiest multicolor newborn vertebrae, which I'm still dreaming about because I need to make a self-strapping vertebrae, I think. So congratulations, Suan. You won the Susie Delpate pattern. It's a fair-eyed baby sock pattern from Molly, and I think it's the prettiest thing ever. So I'm hoping you don't have it already. Send me a message on Ravelry if you have it or not, and I will send it to you as soon as I hear from you. So congratulations again. Thank you again to everyone who participated in the knit along, and I'm hoping, like I said, to do a new one soonish, let's say. So I think that's pretty much it for this episode. I'm very much hoping that not another month will go by without me recording. So hopefully I will see you soon with new tiny projects and most likely a finished pair of socks, because I can't stop knitting this gorgeous cable. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. I will see you soon, and until then, happy knitting!